Hi, I'm Annie. Contact information is in the description. Today I want to talk about my progress with learning to type in the objective personality system. First of all, I'm not very good at it, although I am getting better. And second, I haven't really applied myself. I haven't really tried. I've been consuming the class casually for entertainment, and I get a lot of value out of it aside from learning to type. It hasn't really been my goal to improve my typing ability until recently. I had to look it up in the system this morning. I joined the objective personality class in August of 2019. And since then, like I said, I've been sort of consuming it for entertainment. I really look forward to it. I watch it every Tuesday and Thursday. And I've been getting a lot of value out of the growth mindset aspects of being in the class. Just kind of generally observing personalities and embracing the concept that you can lean into the challenges of life to improve yourself and lean into your weaker functions in order to balance yourself out and become a more effective, balanced, complete person. And I also just like to get to know the different personalities. The class exposes me to people that I might not necessarily ever be exposed to otherwise. So until recently, I haven't really applied myself. I haven't looked at who's being typed next and studied them for a week and then cast my vote for their type in the Facebook group where they keep stats of class participants and what type they have chosen for each week's class. I haven't really done that. I haven't really tried because it wasn't important to me. It was really just enjoying, like I said, the growth aspects of the class. In January of 2020, I was officially typed, and that was also really helpful to me. It was good to finally have words for some of the things that I was seeing within myself, particularly play last, to just, have a word for that. And was also helpful to understand that my FI and my SI is masculine. It helped me see feminine TE third more clearly and, the problems that causes in my life. So that was very useful information to me. And also to finally understand why MBTI just doesn't work for me, because I don't fit into the system. I don't really exist there. So it was difficult for me to really understand myself through MBTI or relate to any specific type. So over the last year, I've noticed that while I'm watching documentaries with my partner, we really love documentaries, that I'm starting to see functions here and there because it's people just, being normal in their natural environment. Things like renovation shows where people are renovating their entire house, and so there's some chaos and some pressure. I was starting to, without really even trying, just see a function here or there. Not really seeing a picture of the whole 512 type, just picking up on functions. And I started to see these things without really trying, just by allowing the class to seep in through osmosis over time. The other thing that happened is that in 2020, I started coaching more, and I started to see functions and animals in my coaching clients, and I found that to be really useful information. So for the last several weeks, I've been actually trying to type. So when they say who's coming up next for typing, I've been actually putting in the hours to study these people and finally trying to get better at typing. And I found it to be surprisingly nerve-wracking to cast a type in the Facebook group. There was a little bit of this self and tribe tension, like, oh, I'm going to be so way off base and I'm going to be the only one that's going to say some weird, stupid type that's completely wrong, and I'm going to look stupid, and everybody else is going to get it right. And I also tend to think that other people are right and I'm wrong. And so the issue of being biased by other people's opinions is a pretty big struggle for me in typing. Like if somebody I respect says, well, I think this is lead NE, then that's definitely going to bias me, because when it comes to that feminine TE third, I feel a little insecure and I tend to think that other people are smarter than me. And so I've had to be more careful with, not hearing the opinions of other people as they're trying to work out the type of someone else. So I'm trying to sort of hide from those opinions until I make my decision. So I've been casting my vote every Monday evening before the type reveal on the Tuesday class. And it's frustrating to not get it right. I haven't gotten one exactly right yet, but it's also encouraging because I'm seeing a pattern that I'm chopping down the board so significantly that for several of the most recent past types, I've gotten down to 2 types on the board and I've chosen the wrong one. But just the fact that I've at least gotten down to those 2, I find encouraging. So I'm noticing that I'm actually better at it than I thought I was going to be. When I decided to finally start casting my vote, I thought I was going to do way, way worse. But it turns out that I'm better at it than I thought I would be, and and I think I actually have a foundation to where I can improve. And if I continue to put in the hours, put in the effort over the next year, I do expect for my stats to become more accurate over time. So the most recent class was the Sophia Nygaard class, and that was one where I had the board cut down to 2 types, and one of them was her correct type. Unfortunately, I chose the incorrect type when I was looking at those 2. So I had the correct type, except I would have said double masculine. And I'm still having a little bit of a hard time seeing feminine extroverted decider with her, just because she's so direct. I still probably would have gone with double masculine. But I had SITE in the board, and I also had definitely sleep last and consume and sleep in the bottom 2. So the other type that was on the board that unfortunately I chose and cast my vote for was SETE. And for that one I had play blast, consume sleep. So I still had the sleep last. These are both observers, but in retrospect, I'm just kicking myself because as I was typing her, I did have in my notes, this seems like NE last. There were just some things that indicated to me that it was NE and FI in the bottom 2. So I could definitely see FI inferior and NE inferior. So why the heck did I go with SETE? I don't know. It was just sort of like a last minute thing. But here's the funny thing about it. I cast my vote for SETE on Monday night before I went to bed, and I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was having a kind of an auditory dream, a dream with no images, which is somewhat unusual. But I woke up and it was this mocking voice of a man just sort of making fun of me, saying, "Come on, you know she's an ISTJ." And I woke up and I was like, yeah, I do know that. I know she's an ISTJ. And it's something about the NF read of the person. I'm definitely using an NF read mechanism in order to type people. And maybe that's a bad thing. The goal is to slow way down and be as objective as possible. But I think there is some truth to the fact that an NF read can be accurate. So there was something inside of me that knew this is an IJ that I'm looking at. And I knew that within myself, but somehow I used my rational brain to choose this other type, which was wrong and stupid. So then I fell back to sleep and I had a pretty hilarious dream that I was at Dave and Shan's house up in Portland, and they were doing an in-person debriefing class of Sophia Nygaard. And I was incredibly frustrated because they kept pausing the class to run errands and take naps. And I was thinking, this is going to take forever. How do they ever get anything done around here? They keep taking breaks. They keep taking naps. I was just like really irritated by it. And I just thought that was funny that that seeped in. It was indicative of this energy dom approach versus info dom approach, which is what I am, in this kind of tension between energy and info. And I just thought it was a funny dream. Anyway, that's how my progress is going. And I feel disappointed when I don't get types right. It's frustrating. I want to be good at it. But I'm also feeling pretty encouraged that because I've studied this for over 2 years, it is seeping in. I am getting it. And if I actually apply myself, I think I can improve over the next year. So on to the next guy. We're typing the astronaut guy now. What's his name? And I'm going to give it my best shot.